Hello children, in today's video we are going to see about the new chapter, the atmosphere, under which we are going to see in detail about the importance of the atmosphere and the composition of the atmosphere. Let's get started. So when looking down on Earth from the space, one can see a transparent blue haze around the planet. And this haze is actually a thin layer of gas or air, and it is called the atmosphere. So the word atmosphere is derived from the two words, that is the atmos and sphaira, which is a Greek word. Atmos means vapor and sphaira means sphere. So together the atmosphere means the sphere of vapor. So this atmosphere, it is a most dynamic realm of our planet. So it keeps on changing. So this is the zone where all weather and climate related phenomena like rain, wind, snow and storm occur. And the atmosphere is held to the surface of the earth by the gravitational force, and it is most dense near the surface, and it gradually thins out higher up, and it finally merges into the outer space. Now let us see the importance of the atmosphere. So the atmosphere is vital for life on the earth, and it helps sustain life in various ways. It acts as a blanket by trapping the terrestrial radiation and keeping the earth warm. So the energy given out by the sun is called the solar radiation. The amount of the solar radiation received by the atmosphere and the surface of the earth is called as the insolation. So when the energy reflected from the surface of the earth and atmosphere is called the terrestrial radiation. So what this atmosphere it is doing, it is like a blanket which is trapping the terrestrial radiation and keeping the earth warm. So it ensures that there is a correct amount of heat required for life to exist. If the atmosphere were not for the protective covering, all the life forms on earth would have been either burnt during the day or frozen to death during the night. The atmosphere, it permits the incoming solar radiation, that is the energy given out by the sun. But what happens? It blocks the harmful rays, including the ultraviolet radiation. The atmosphere also contains the oxygen, which is the life-giving gas, which we need to breathe to stay alive. The atmosphere also contains the moisture, which is very much essential part of the water cycle. The green plants need the carbon dioxide present in the atmosphere. So these are all the importance of the atmosphere. Next we will see about the composition of the atmosphere. So Earth's atmosphere, it's a mixture of several gases, and the most important gases are the nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, hydrogen and ozone. And it also includes the solid matter like the dust particles, salt particles, pollen dusts, volcanic ashes and smoke. So we will see everything in detail, and there is a pie chart representation of the composition of the atmosphere, where you can see the abundant gas present in the atmosphere is the nitrogen, which is 78%, and coming to the next abundant gas is the oxygen, which is 21%, and then it is the argon, which is 0.93%, and the rest of the other composition are the carbon dioxide, neon, helium, ozone, hydrogen, krypton, xenon and methane, which are found in traces. Now we'll see everything in detail. First one, nitrogen. Nitrogen, it is the most abundant gas we saw in the pie chart, and plants need nitrogen for their survival and even the animals. But what happened? They cannot absorb it directly from the atmosphere. So the bacteria that present in the soil and the roots of some plants, they convert the nitrogen in the atmosphere and makes it usable for plants. So animals also obtain the nitrogen when they eat the plants. The next one is the oxygen. As we saw, it is the second most abundant gas in the atmosphere, and it is important because the living things, including the human being, they need the oxygen to inhale, that is breathe in, for their survival. So this oxygen is also essential for the combustion. Combustion means the burning matter. And ozone, it is a form of oxygen. The next is carbon dioxide. As we saw in the pie chart, this carbon dioxide is present only about 0.03% in the atmosphere, but it is said to be another important gas. Okay, the green plants, they need carbon dioxide and water to manufacture food, to produce the food. So what happens? They take in the carbon dioxide and convert it into starch in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. This process is called as the photosynthesis. So the green plants, they give out oxygen during photosynthesis, and this oxygen is taken up by the living things and the carbon dioxide is released. This dual process ensures that the amount of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is always balanced, constant. So what happens when we cut down trees? This natural balance is totally affected. So carbon dioxide is also termed greenhouse gas. We'll see what happens now. So it absorbs, it has the nature to absorb the terrestrial radiation, and what happens? It radiates it back to the earth. So when this trapping of energy by the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere produces what is called as the greenhouse effect, and therefore it is called as the greenhouse gas. Percentage is constant, there is no problem. If the percentage is going to get high, okay, so if the amount of the carbon dioxide in the air is going to increase, carbon dioxide is going to absorb the terrestrial radiation and reflecting it back. So if the amount of carbon dioxide is increasing in the atmosphere, more amount of terrestrial radiation will be reflected back into the earth. It leads to the increase in the temperature of the earth's surface and also in the layers of the atmosphere which is in contact with it. So this warming of the earth is called as the global warming. The next one is the dust particles are also needed for the formation of the clouds, okay, and which will be resulting in the precipitation. These dust particles, they form the nuclei around which the water vapor condenses into droplets of waters. When several such droplets clump together, the clouds are formed, which will lead to the precipitation. Yes children, in this video we saw in detail about the introduction of atmosphere, and we also saw the importance of the atmosphere and the composition of the atmosphere in detail. In next video you will be seeing about the structure of the atmosphere in detail. Thank you children.